This episode is brought to you by Bumble. So, you want to find someone you're compatible with, specifically someone who's ready for a serious connection, totally open to having kids in the future, is a tall, rock-climbing Libra, and loves rom-coms with vegan pizzas on Tuesdays just as much as you do. Bumble knows that you know exactly what's right for you. So whatever it is you're looking for, Bumble's features can help you find it. Date now on Bumble.
Making everyone happy on vacation isn't easy, but you know what is? Going to Aruba. All you have to do is walk out your door to find pristine pools, relaxing white sand beaches, and an island teeming with outdoor activities that'll put a smile on any face. You won't just feel great, you'll all feel great, filled with a calmer, more peaceful vibe that radiates Aruba's warmth. And the best part is, it never fades. That's the Aruba effect. Plan your family trip at Aruba.com.
This episode is brought to you by Visit Williamsburg. In Williamsburg, Virginia, there's never too much of a good thing. Whether you're a foodie, a golfer, a history buff, a shopaholic, an outdoor enthusiast, or a thrill seeker, you'll find what you came for here and more. So ask yourself, what is it you want? Discover Williamsburg and plan your trip at visitwilliamsburg.com.
Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and I'm on my morning preach, and I'm going to talk about the religious narcissist, okay? The deception of the religious narcissist. So what does that mean exactly? Well, I'm going to talk about how the narcissist uses religion. They use religion to deceive, okay? Now, there's a lot of different ways narcissists do this. Obviously, you have, people that are religious leaders that use religion to, manipulate people for money, manipulate people for favors. And these people are the epitome of, crooked and deceptive, and they use God to get what they want. This is why I tell you, whenever somebody starts preaching about God, you've got to always look at what is, what's their intent in all of this, okay? Are they looking for money? Are they looking for fame? Are they looking for followers? Are they looking for notoriety? What is the intent behind somebody who's talking about God and using God to back up who they say? And what a lot of narcissists, because narcissists are deceptive, they're manipulative, and they'll do anything to deceive you and earn your trust. Why do they want to earn your trust? Because they want something out of you, okay? So always look at what the intent is of somebody for preaching something, okay? Now, when you're dating somebody, when you deal with a narcissist is going to study you. They're going to see what type of person you are. If you start talking about, God and the fact that you go to church or synagogue or mosque, or that you're a very religious person, guess what that narcissist is going to do? Like the chameleon they are, they're going to turn themselves into that Bible-going, church-loving or whatever religious affiliation group that you are. They're going to turn themselves into your perfect partner, okay? They're going to talk about religion. I actually had a narcissist who said, come on, let's pray. God brought me into your life and let's say a nighttime prayer together. This was all to manipulate me and make me think that he was a God-fearing person and that I should trust him. So they are the dirtiest, ugliest narcissists out there because they will use God to get what they want and to try to fool you, okay? But the caveat in all this is always look at their fruits. You will know them by their fruits. And what does that mean? That means you've got to look at their lives, okay? You can't sit there and preach that you're a godly person if you don't live by divine law or follow God's laws, okay? What are God's laws? It means, you're not about lies. You speak the truth. You're not about deception. You're about clarity. You're not about confusion like the narcissist is all about confusion. Confusion is the tool of the narcissist to get what they want. So you have to look at what this person shows you, how they've lived their life, to really know who they are, because anybody could say anything. We know that there's plenty of liars out there that will say whatever they could say to get what they want. And what a lot of narcissists do is they will lie and say that they love you. They work on your emotions, okay? Narcissists get what they want by manipulating your emotions. You're longing for love. Maybe you're somebody who's longing for love. Maybe you're lonely. And this is why they love bomb you. They want to build you up. They want to put you on cloud 9 because then they can get what they want out of you because you're so addicted to that high, that oxytocin feeling of feeling good about yourself. See, what a narcissist does in order to manipulate you is make you feel good about yourself, and you're addicted to it. So a narcissist gets you addicted to that fantastic feeling that you're longing for inside yourself. This is why you have to look inside yourself and introspect and realize what you were lacking and why you put up with the narcissist nonsense. Because a lot of times you put up with a narcissist, their bullshit and their nonsense because you're longing so much inside yourself for something. And that narcissist comes and fills that void within you. Maybe you're lonely. Maybe you want a serious relationship. Maybe you want to get married one day and have kids. And here comes the narcissist, your hero, fulfilling all of these dreams and trying to fool you. Okay? So what they do is they manipulate you to try so that you believe all their nonsense. And once you feel that this person is fulfilling you and fulfilling your dream, this is all part of the future faking as well. They figure out what is your dream? What do you want? And then they try to build it up in your head like that they are going to be the ones to, fulfill your dream, and they're going to work with you and they're your ride or die. And what do? You let your guard down and you believe them because they tell you everything you want to hear. Never believe words, okay? We don't believe words. We believe what somebody shows us, okay? We believe somebody that we have checked out, all right? You got to check out somebody. And what does that mean? You got to look at their prior history, their prior relationships, their prior, childhood to really know what this person is, not what just comes out of their mouths. It's like when somebody goes on a job interview and they hand a piece of paper over to the person interviewing them. That person's not going to believe everything that's on that paper. They're going to check you out and check your references and call your former employees. And it's the same thing in a love relationship. You've got to check out whoever you're dealing with to make sure that this person is who they say they are and what they say they believe, okay? So, getting back to the religious narcissist is not only going to use love, but they're going to use whatever you're into, and that could be your love of God, okay? So they use this to get money. They use this maybe to deceive you because maybe they want to move into your house. They know you're a religious person, or maybe, they just want the attention. But they are the dirtiest, hypocritical narcissists you will ever deal with because they have no moral code, okay? They will go as low as pretending that they are religious and into God to get what they want. And they are the dirtiest narcissist out there, all right? So you've got to be careful. You've got to look at, what somebody is saying and look at the source. Always look at the source. It's the same thing when somebody smears you, okay? And people come back to me all the time and they say, well, the narcissist is talking bad about me and they're saying this and that. And I always tell them, well, look at the source. Look at where it's coming from. Look at their lives. Their lives are a mess. Who the fuck are they to judge you? Who are they to judge you, okay? Nobody has a right to judge anybody else. And nobody understands what anybody else went through unless you've walked in that person's shoes, okay? And this is one thing that you'll see about a narcissist. They're very, very critical and judgmental, and they shouldn't be, because they need to, look at themselves before they judge anybody else, all right? So the thing is this, you guys, when you deal with these religious narcissists, you have to be careful. Because, if you start talking, this is why you got to be careful what you tell people that you're into, because they will try to mirror it. Or if you tell a narcissist when you first meet them, never tell them too much about your past relationships, because they're going to do exactly, let's say your ex hurt you, they cheated on you, or did you dirty, or robbed you, or whatever they did dirty to you. Let's say you're telling this new person all your dirty laundry, right? You're telling somebody you don't know well too much too soon. Now that person's going to take what you told them, and they're going to manipulate all of that to try to fool you and pretend to you that they are somebody that they're not. So if you go to the narcissist that you're dating and you tell them, yeah, my ex cheated on me, or my ex robbed me, or my ex, did this dirty, that person's going to be the exact opposite of your ex. And why do they do that? To fool you. They'll say things like, oh, I would never cheat on you because I know what it's like to be cheated on. I know that pain, to be hurt. And I had people tell me this, all right? They would tell me, oh, I could never cheat on anybody because I know that hurt, and I could never hurt anybody like that. And I actually believed it at the time because I was naive at the time. And I said, well, they know what it is to be hurt, and they could never hurt me, or something like that. And it was all manipulation to make me think that they were vulnerable, that they knew what it was to be hurt and everything. Or they pretend that, oh, I would never hurt you, I love you unconditionally. All of this is nonsense. Nobody loves you unconditionally unless they know you inside out. So if anybody tells you that and they don't even know you, they don't even know how many siblings you have, they don't know jack shit about you, then they are full of shit, and you're dealing with somebody who's a love bomber and trying to manipulate you. And they do the same thing with religion, okay? They do the same thing with religion and trying to manipulate you. If they find that you're a God-fearing person, they'll bring up the Bible, they'll bring up Bible verses, they'll post religious memes on their Facebook profile or on their social media to make you think that they are a God-fearing person. And why do they do all these things? So that you trust them. So that what they're doing is they're portraying the exact opposite of who they are. They're deceptive. They're like the devil. What they are demons. They are demons because they are deceptive to try to fool you to get what they want. And this is why the religious narcissist is dirty. They're dirty, all right? So don't be so naive and think just because somebody is talking about religious or quoting lines in a Bible, or, they want to pray with you, or they tell you, well, God brought you into my life, I've been praying. You guys, this is all game. These people are playing game on you. You don't believe anything. I can't say this. I'm going to put a big ass plaque on my wall. I'm going to take a picture of this. I'm going to post it all over social media. And it's going to say, do not believe anybody's words unless you know this person a long time and they can back up what they're saying, okay? So we don't believe words. You cannot believe words. You have to understand that in this world, you have deception, you have evil, okay? You have good and evil. Good and evil balance itself out. Understand that, all right? Not everybody is built like you. So you're going to have deceptors. You're going to have people that manipulate for something. These people have no moral compass. They're not righteous people. They are what God disdains. They are the lowest of the lowest, and they will reap what they sow later on. They will definitely reap what they sow later on. And that's why a lot of them panic when they're close to death. They panic when they're close to death because they know they've been deceptive. And now they know that Judgment Day is coming and they're going to have to face God and face every evil deed that they have done and every evil word that they have spoken. They will have to face that, okay? They will have to face that. And narcissists start to panic when they're close to death because they know, this is how you know that they're also aware. And I've seen this, okay? That they're also aware of what they did. I've seen narcissists that were very, very sick, that all of a sudden became very, very nice, because they panicked, because they were worried about their perseverance, and all of a sudden they became nice. And that shows you too, you guys, narcissists, they don't regret what they do, but they definitely feel guilt, okay? They definitely feel guilt. They'll never tell you they feel guilt. They will never tell you they feel guilt. But deep down, they do feel guilt and they block it, okay? They block those feelings. They try to block those feelings because they just can't deal with shame. But that guilt is there. And I've seen it in numerous narcissists. So anybody that tells you they don't feel guilt is wrong, because I've seen it and I've seen it in their actions, all right? Unless you're dealing with somebody that's a complete, psychopath, that has zero emotions whatsoever. But in general, they do. But getting back to the religious narcissist, okay, you got to understand something. Understand this, you guys. When you deal with a narcissist, you're dealing with somebody who has no moral compass. What does that mean? That means they don't think twice about lying. They don't think twice about stealing. They don't think twice about cheating. If they're real extreme, narcissistic, no empathy psychopath, they don't think twice about killing somebody. So they are they're horrible, dangerous people. They could be dangerous because they ruin lives, all right? So when you deal with a narcissist, you have to understand this person has no moral compass, and this person is a predator. Narcissists are predators. They prey upon people that are children of God. What does that mean? People of truth, people that fly straight, people that are honest. They try to destroy these people. I'm sorry, you guys, if you hear my dog in the back. She is driving me crazy because she wants to go outside, and it's really early in the morning. Sorry, but I can't let her out because the neighbors will go crazy if she barks. But anyway, back to the point at hand, all right? Narcissists are predators, okay? They're predators, and they will, they'll do anything. They'll prey upon the innocent. And one of the things that you have to understand when you're dealing with a narcissist is that the narcissist took away your innocence. And what do I mean by that? I mean that the narcissist took away your innocence because you're not the same person you used to be before the narcissist, okay? You maybe looked at the world in a different light, maybe in a more positive, optimistic light. And then when you had all these terrible things happen to you, where you were lied to, deceived to, cheated on, your innocence was taken away by that narcissist. It was a realization to you that, what? Not everybody in this world is kind and generous and fair and a God-fearing person. Somebody who, does the right thing. In my book, somebody who does the right thing is a God-fearing person, okay? They follow divine law. They believe in doing the right thing. They're not a liar. They do things that are just and right. In other words, if they see money on the ground and, you see the little old lady standing there, you're not going to steal her money. You're going to hand her the money. You do the right thing, all right? So the thing is this. When you deal with a narcissist, you have to understand that these people have criminal minds. They're predators. And the religious narc will go as low as deceiving in a religious house of worship. You will find them in a church. You will find them in a synagogue. You will find them in a mosque because they are the lowest creatures of life. They will use religion. They will go into these religious places and they will manipulate vulnerable people that are going there to pray because maybe they're going through something. They're vulnerable people. They could be lonely people and they're turning to God. And who's in these places? The destructive, evil narcissist who's out for something, that's out to manipulate, that pretends to be a follower of God, and yet they are a demon. They are a demon inside. They have no sense of God within themselves. But what a narcissist does, and remember this when you're dealing with a narcissist, they portray the exact opposite of who they are. They always do this. They want to put on a false image of who they are. And a lot of these people that pretend to be, religious, into religion, and they're narcissist, they talk about how you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that and you shouldn't lie and you shouldn't cheat. And meanwhile, when you look into their backgrounds and you look into their lives, how many preachers are out there that have affairs? How many? Tons of preachers are out there that have affairs, okay? All right. So you have all these preachers out there that are having affairs. Not every single preacher. I'm not saying that every religious leader is a narcissist, because they're not. But what I'm trying to say is always dive into that person's background and see, who are they? How do they live? Do they live a righteous life? Are their fruits good? Like it says in the Bible, you will know them by their fruits. And what does that mean exactly, their fruits? What they show you, what they show for their life. And that's another point that I want to make out to you guys that I realized when I was dealing with narcissists. You sit there and you look at the narcissist and they tell you a lot of nonsense. And you say to yourself, you sit there confused, but then what you should be doing is looking at, how do they live? How does this narcissist live? That tells you about who they are. If there's somebody who are always out and about and drinking and partying, and yet they're sitting there and they're preaching about God and the Bible, and you shouldn't do this, look at how they're living. Are they living a righteous life? Are they following God's laws? And what I mean by following God's laws is, are they a liar? Because if they're a liar, they're not following God's laws, and they're not a godly person, because a godly person is not a liar. But see, a narcissist is not a godly person. They're not about God, okay? They're not about God. And they're all about the flesh, and they're all about material things. Narcissists are all about what is of this earth, what is of this world. And this is what God actually disdains. He disdains anybody that is obsessed and idolizes anything that is of this world, okay? Because God should be put above anything in this world, okay? But see, a narcissist, they have tunnel vision and tunnel thinking, and they think about, this world only. They don't think about the spiritual world later on. A lot of them lie and do talk about it, and they may think that there might be somebody out there, or they don't believe in God at all. And it doesn't mean that everybody that doesn't believe in God is a narcissist, because that's not true at all either, okay? But a narcissist is somebody who has an inflated image of themselves and thinks that they're better than other people, and they deceive and they manipulate to get something out of somebody. And the religious narcissist, the one that uses religion to do it, is the lowest, dirtiest narcissist out there. And they will definitely reap what they sow, because they are using God in a negative way, okay? And, using God's name in a negative way to manipulate for some supply that they want. So they are disgusting, they are deceptive, and you have to watch out for these people because they will try to fool you with religion. So if they sit there and they're posting religious memes all over their social media, or they're talking about religion constantly, about how they're religious this, they're religious that, they're religious that, ask yourself, is this person kind? Is this person understanding? Does this person go out of their way to help people? Because that's what God's about. God's about love. God's about kindness. God's about peace. And God's about patience. All the things that a narcissist isn't. Okay? A narcissist is not a kind person, even though they could be kind at times. This is where they fool you, because a narcissist will be kind when they want something. Don't be fooled by that kindness. When they're kind, they either want something from you or they're doing it to portray their image as trying to be a good guy or a nice person to other people. But in general, a narcissist is not a kind person. A narcissist is not an understanding person. They're judgmental. They don't understand that you're a human being and that you have flaws. Instead, they criticize you. That's not a person of God. Understand that. So if this person is not kind, if this person is not understanding, if this person is criticizing and judging you, this is not a person of God. Understand that. And look at how they lived. Did they live a clean life, or did they live a life of, they're all over the place and they abuse their bodies and they have multiple partners and they don't care and, everything like that. And yet they're preaching God. That's not a person of God. So understand the difference of who a person of God is and how they live. It's not just what comes out of their mouth or what they preach. It's how is this person living? What are they showing you? Okay. It's like these religious leaders as well. They get up there, they talk about God, they preach what you should do, but how are they living in their own personal lives, okay? How are they treating their spouse, or how are they treating their children? Are they practicing what they preach? A lot of them aren't, okay? A lot of them aren't. So, that's the hypocrisy of the person the narcissist who's using religion to get what they want, okay? So it's not what they say, it's what they show you that tells you who they are, okay? Who they are. And the biggest one, you guys, is that, people that sit there and talk about, religion and talk about God, if they're a liar, they're not about God. That's the big one. If they're a liar, if they're a cheater, if they're a thief, if they're a deceiver, if they're not about clarity and transparency, then they are not about God, because God is about clarity. God is about the truth, okay? The truth. And that's everything that the narcissist is not about. The narcissist is not about the truth. They know what the truth is, but they're not about the truth because they idolize what's on this earth and they make that a priority in getting what they want. They don't have that higher level of thinking that puts God above. And why is that? And I want to bring this up because this is crucial to understand, okay? You should always try to understand things, okay? Understand how life works. This is what a narcissist doesn't understand. They don't understand how life works because they have tunnel visions and see only what they want to see because they can't deal with facing shame. But they don't see the big picture of life. They don't see beyond this life. They don't see spirituality, and they don't surrender to God. Okay? And this is why they will be damned forever, because they don't surrender to God. And in order to be a godly person, you've got to surrender to God. And what does that mean? That means you have to put God first. Okay? You have to put God first above everything. And you have to be able to humble yourself. This is a key to recognizing whether you're dealing with a narcissist or not, is whether they can humble themselves. A narcissist cannot humble themselves. They're proud and they're haughty and they're arrogant, okay? And these are all things that God disdains proudness, arrogance, haughtiness, and people that can't humble themselves. They can't humble themselves and say when they're wrong, okay? So a narcissist cannot surrender. They can't surrender to God. So how do you expect them to ever surrender to you? They won't surrender to you, okay? Because they put themselves above God. And this is why they will be damned forever. And yes, I'm going to say that. And the reason that I'm going to say that is because a narcissist doesn't repent, all right? People talk about forgiveness. Yes, you need to forgive, but that doesn't mean that you have to, you have to be around this person. You forgive yourself for the fact that you got involved with somebody like that. But as far as forgiveness, if the narcissist can't repent and can't be sorry for what they did, then yes, they will face whatever they face. They will reap what they sow because they cannot repent and they will not put God above themselves, okay? Because in order to put God above themselves means that they have to surrender themselves. And this is something that a narcissist can't do. And this is why narcissists are not above God, okay? This is why the religious narcissist who sits there and preaches is the biggest hypocrisy out there. They're the biggest hypocrisy out there because they say one thing, they preach to other people how they should be, and yet they are the complete opposite. They're crooked, they're deceptive, they're misleading, all right? They're everything that God isn't and that God doesn't want. That's the narcissist. The narcissist is everything that God doesn't want. They're about deception and lies and cheating and misleading people and using people and, not being able to humble themselves or not being able to surrender to themselves. So they are not people that you want to be around, okay? You want to distance yourself from the evil of this world. And I got very spiritual today and very, into it, you guys. And you have to have a higher level of thinking and open your minds up to understand life, and you will get it. You will get it, okay? So understand that just because they sit there and they tell you what, that they're into God and everything like that, if they're not showing you it, if it's not what their fruits are showing, how their life is, or, where they come from or how they've lived their life, if that's not what they're showing you, then they are not about God. And I don't care what they preach. I don't care what memes they put on their social media, what, God is this, that. I don't care what they say. If they're not living the life, then they're not about the life, okay? So you're not about God and you're not about religion unless you live the life yourself and you are what you preach. All right. So I hope that helps you guys to understand. I'm trying to talk quickly because I got my dog here that's driving me crazy, that cries every 2 minutes. Sorry, guys. It's so early in the morning. But I wanted to put out this podcast, and I've been meaning to put this podcast out to really talk about this because a lot of people are going to be dealing with this. And to be careful, too, if you go to these, religious houses of worship, whether it's a church, a synagogue, a mosque, to be careful of these predators because these narcissists are predators and they will prey upon your emotions. And one of the tools, besides just, love bombing and tell you how much they love you, is to pretend that they are a religious person and that they follow God. And why do they do all this? So that you trust them, you let your guard down, and you give them whatever supply they want. It could be sex, it could be money, it could be a place to live, or it could just be to fool you into making you think that they are this, God wonderful person when really they are the exact opposite and they're deceptive. They're deceptive. It's like the narcissist that sits there and does everything for charitable organizations or goes to church every Sunday, and then they have a family get together, and then they don't invite somebody over. They're hypocrites. They preach that they're Christians or they preach that they're good people, but then they're not good people because they do something that is not that a Christian person would do. It's not kind. It's not nice. And you're not a Christian person just because you go to church on Sunday. It's more than just that. It's more than just that. You have to, show kindness in your heart for people, and especially for people in your family. And if you don't do that, then guess what? You aren't family. You aren't family. And yes, this is directed at somebody directly, okay? You aren't family just because you go to church on Sunday and try to pretend on your social media that you're a good person, you're a Christian person. If you don't have kindness in your heart for people that are vulnerable, that are in your family, then no, sorry, you're not a Christian person, all right? I just had to add that in. So I hope that helps you guys understand that, it's not what you see on their social media. It's not what you see in a religious house of worship. It's what their whole life is and how they live their life that will show you whether this person is really about God or whether they are a fake, a phony, a false prophet, and they are people that you need to distance yourself from, okay? Don't believe everything you hear, okay? And this is one of the things that we are not taught when we're younger, unless you're from the streets, okay? You're from the streets, you'll know this. Don't believe everything that you hear that people tell you, all right? They've got to be about whatever they're preaching about, all right? I hope that helps you guys. And if it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast, and have a great day, you guys. If you guys are having a problem in your dating or relationship, or you're dealing with somebody maybe that's narcissistic, you don't know if they're a narcissist, or you're just having problems, you're in a toxic relationship, and you need some clarity on it, go to the link in the podcast description for my website where I offer email and phone coaching. If you have a quick question, just a quick question, and you want to get a video sent back to you answering your question, there's also a link there for Vizio where I will send you a personalized video answering your question. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I want to tell you about my 2 books on Amazon. The first book is Regain Your Power. It's all about power and relationship. Who has the power in the relationship? And it goes into all of that, okay? The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time, okay? Check it out. It gives you a lot of good clues as to whether you're with somebody who's a real one or somebody who's just going to waste your time. You could read them both with Kindle's free trial membership. So check it out. Link is in the podcast description. Hi, you guys. I just want to let you know that the Game Exposed now has their merchandise available. Check out the link in the bio, and you could go check it out. There's cool hoodies, cool sweatpants, cool hats. So go to the bio for the link. And also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook at The Game EXP 123, and also on Instagram, The Game EXP 123. Okay? And have a great day.